Hi, I'm Max Tucci. I always wanted to do a show where I could introduce you to celebrities, newsmakers, and everyday people. Whichever they may be, they're all an inspiration. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the model cook, an author, a TV personality, a father, and an inspiration, Daniel James Green. And welcome Daniel James Green. You have a million titles, from internationally known chef to television host, television personality, award-winning author, the model chef. Who is Daniel Green?
Oh my goodness. Wears a lot of hats, travels around the world a lot, and has made quite a lot happen. It's been an interesting journey. I never expected it to be anything like it has turned out.
It's an incredible path. And from your childhood, we were just talking about fat, overweight, what is the right term to use, what resonates with you?
Yeah.
Why is it bad to be called fat? But how was it to be a child and overweight?
You know, as a child, I actually wasn't overweight. Two older brothers, pretty active, never had an issue. Got to about 11 years old, and I just wasn't that active. And I started putting weight on, and then I started getting heavier. And by the time I was 13, 14, I was seeing the results of that fast food, the burgers, the chicken, the fries. And I felt pretty bad because my mum was cooking great at home. You know, we had a good lifestyle. It wasn't that we went to the junk food places.
Right.
Normally when you go to a fast food place and you see really obese kids, they're normally followed by obese parents. That wasn't the case. It was only me. So I felt a bit out of turn, and I didn't feel the same. And even my friends and buddies at the time, they were never overweight. And people were afraid to use the F word, but we can say fat because that's exactly what it is. And I started to realize at one point, actually, this isn't very good for me. Like, I was 17 years old and I wasn't able to go out.
Did you have
and
health
enjoy.
issues?
No, I had no health issues. My friends were all going out dating and they were all doing it Saturday night, and I just felt uncomfortable. I wasn't really who I wanted to be. So I just thought, well, I've got to do something about it. And I tell you, there was a turning point. There was a shop, it's resurged, called Topshop. Do you know that one?
No.
Okay, it's a British
Right.
store. It's kind of like the Zara was of that
Okay.
age. And Top Man was where you got your clothes. Well, I mean, it wasn't expensive. They went up to a 38-inch waist, and that was now tight on me. So I'm now thinking, okay, I've got to go to a specialty store. I've got to go to Mr. Big and Tall and Fat. Because
At like what age, 17?
At 17.
Yeah.
So that's where I thought there was a disability for me.
Well, it crushes you.
That's why I thought, no, I can't do that. So then I started on this campaign of, at the time it was fat-free. Do you remember when fat-free, I mean, they were labeling things fat-free that were always fat-free, but it was actually working. If you take the fat out of food, you're not going to be you're not going to be heavy. So I did that, and very gradually it starts to work. So that was the beginning of it. But then I had a passion for food, and then I suddenly realized, actually, it's not just a baked potato and pasta with no sauce. I can be cleverer than that. So by the time I got to about 20, I was really developing some fantastic recipes.
So you have this journey of 11 to 17, let's say,
Yeah.
where you feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are feeling that, and not even at 17, 35, 45, 55. So where is it that you feel, okay, I'm getting a hold on this, and I'm going to make this a lifestyle, a conscious change?
Well, it happened gradually, and I never thought I'd lose a lot of weight, but it was working and I was losing weight, and I'd go out to a bar, and because you could drink before.
Right, of course.
Of course. I wasn't doing anything illegal. And I'd be these, you know, like girls or people I knew at school, they'd, hey, Daniel, how are you? I was like, oh, well, gosh, I'm
So they
here.
start noticing you.
I'm here. So it gave me really, you know, kind of excitement, a real motivation. And then I started cooking more, and I did that. And I lost 65 pounds. And then I went into modeling, and I did not go into modeling because that's what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to capture it because it was the first time in my life I felt good. And I thought, well, I'm going to blow up any minute. I'm going to put it all back on.
Right.
So I went to an agency and got some pictures done. And 3 months down the line, I was going on castings, and I'd spent money on the book, and it ended up to be a 3-year career. But I never looked at it like that. I wanted to go in and document just one thing because I really didn't think it was going to last.
So your life has been documented since a young age.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
To today. You're seen by 86 million people in their homes.
I know, it sounds crazy numbers.
Shop
crazy.
HQ.
That was a different path. You know, I got into food in England, and I wanted to share my passion. I believe that when you have a passion, you do it well. When you've got a story to tell, you do it well.
Right.
And I had been to Thailand, and I realized food actually has got flavor. So
Was Thailand for you a moment where you realized life was like, there was something more to life? Because people go on these exotic journeys like eat, pray, love. But what was Thailand for you?
I didn't find Buddhism. I just found some really good copy Louis Vuitton handbags.
And recipes and flavor.
I found food. I found recipes. I love the people, by the way. I've been back over 30 times. I realized that you can actually put things like tom yum soup, which has got lemongrass, chili, and garlic. It's got flavor. So whenever I hear a chef say fat is flavor, it's like, go to Thailand, come back and tell me that. So I don't believe it. I think you can create flavor. I mean, things like miso paste, I mean, there's things you can use that haven't got fat. You've got flavor going in. So that was my first cookbook. And it was all the ways how I lost weight, and that's really what drove me. So I got an agent in England, and I wanted to really drive this passion, and I did things from Discovery Health, UK Food, BBC. I mean, I was working non-stop, doing all of the shows. I had my own show on Discovery Health. I'm really passionate about it. This again was like building over a couple of years, got the second book out, and then ShopNBC, now Shop HQ, brought me over to the US, and I've been here 10 years, and home shopping was not a direction I was going to go in. It wasn't on the path.
Right.
But it became a wonderful way to connect with people and to be doing 10,000, almost 11,000 hours of live TV.
Right.
And you know, in those people's homes, it's fantastic. So it's taken me on a great journey there.
You're involved with KLM.
I was for 3 years, yeah.
And you like created, all right, we have to like back, there's just so much to discuss. So not only do people love you on television, now you're creating food for them when they travel, and also in hotels. People, like, you've become this brand where internationally you're known, and you're giving people life and products, and you're adding spice and diversity.
I've done it because I believe in what I do.
Yeah.
Now, any chef can go out there and do one episode on healthy. Any chef can go and write a book on low fat or low carbohydrate. It's what I do. I don't go to a gym. I am very active, but I just do it through food, and I love food. I know there's something real here. I know you can change the way people eat. We've gone back from Europe where Italy, France, it doesn't matter what you have because you have small portions. If you go to a wonderful French restaurant, okay, it's going to be cheese and butter and cream, but it's going to be that big. It's not going to do you any harm. A snack in France and Italy is a piece of fruit.
Right,
it's not a big bag of potato chips. Food has changed in America, and cheap food is crap food, really. So we've got to change that aspect. So we need to do bigger portion sizes. Well, you know, the one thing I'm very passionate about, and I'd love to be able to change. Yeah, I've developed menus for airlines and hotels. I've always stuck to the healthy, but there are a few places in the world that budget has no worry on food. You can live in Central America, you can live in South America, Southeast Asia. You always have fruit and vegetables. That doesn't happen here, and that's sad. It's sad that if you're on a budget of a few dollars a week, you can't get nutrition. You can, but I want to teach people how to do that. That's my next pioneering thing I'd love to do.
So you're like the ambassador for healthy living.
I hope so, because I've lived it and I've done it, but I'm not hardcore. To me, it's what you do and you make changes that you can live on. If you go on a diet, you come off a diet. When I went from eating deep fried chicken and burgers to having wasabi crust tuna, why did I not go back to it? Because I like it more. And that's what we've got to try and get people to do. Like food more than what they're having.
Well, let's talk about weight management.
Yeah.
Because diets are great, but you lost almost 70 pounds.
Yep.
You keep it off. How do we keep it off?
You keep it off when you've got the balance, you know that you can go on and off it. So what I'm saying there is a Monday to Friday diet is what we should do. Don't waste time. I mean, if you're running from here, you stop at a garage, and you pick up a sandwich full of mayonnaise and something horrific. I mean, you didn't even enjoy it. It's on the go. Make those decisions Monday to Friday. On the weekends, go out and enjoy yourself.
Conscious eating.
And when you then do that and you have time off, you never feel that, oh, it's not working for me. It is working for you, because it's what you do on average. If you ate terribly Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday you were really good, would it work?
Right.
No. Do it the other way.
Do it the other way. Well, UHC TV, United Healthcare Television, I think it's like branded off of who you are. Because I really just feel like the health consciousness is so important. How do you feel when you are behind that camera for UHC TV and you're presenting healthy living for people and they're digesting it mentally, physically, emotionally, and they're like, I'm going to change my life because of Daniel Green?
Well, I'm flattered because someone like United Healthcare think that I could be a spokesperson for them. It means it's real. So I think they get the story with me. And number two,
we're going to be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back. So we're back, and we were talking about UHC TV and how you've become this ambassador and people are changing their lives because of you. Internally, how does that feel?
It feels flattering to be a spokesperson for a company with such credibility that want to make changes. The nice thing is this series called The Better Cook wasn't hardcore. It was so easy. It's about mum at home making something or dad in the kitchen with the kids that actually, you know what? I could just tweak it a little bit and really reduce the fat and calories quite a lot. It's not being on a diet and it's not really changing what you do. It's just buying a few things that make a little bit of differences, and that really does make a difference.
What are those few things?
Well, if you're
that we can do right now, we can change our refrigerator.
Change your refrigerator. I mean, buy the lower fat products. You know, buy yogurts instead of cream cheese. Just make a few things that are going to lighten things up and give you the same flavor. There's so many ways to do that. Use better oils like an olive oil. And again, just trying to use fresh. Fresh never works. Fresh never goes in a bad way. You should never be on any plan that doesn't allow you as much as you want of fruit and vegetables. Eat as much as you want there. To me, that's a number one.
And now you're talking about families in the kitchen. You have your two daughters, Gigi and Elle. How has becoming a father changed not only your eating habits, but now you have to raise these two individuals to also eat consciously and think consciously and live healthy?
You don't want to make an issue with kids. You want them to make sure that it's not a good and a bad. They've just got to enjoy food. When kids are a part of the kitchen and they create, they get excited about it. If they think they're grown up and they're eating what you're eating, it's great. What's happened here is they've absolutely destroyed the kids' menu. You know this in Italy.
Of course.
A kid in Italy has a smaller portion of what mum and dad are having. They don't have a designated menu that's French fries, mac and cheese,
chicken
sliders, fingers. They don't have that in France and Italy. They have a smaller portion of what mum and dad are having. That's what we need to do. Otherwise, we've got these kids that have the blandest diet that still eat mac and cheese in their 20s because they're used to nothing else.
So they know.
Got to get them involved. Got to get them into places. I took my eldest daughter to Malaysia, to Thailand, to Hong Kong, and she tried food. She was having food that most kids never had at that age, and she was experiencing. And then so much so that we went to a barbecue in the Midwest, and she looked at this huge vat of baked beans, and she looked at them, and she was about 5, and said, "Are they edamame?" Okay, maybe I need to get you to eat some real food too.
Right,
so
right.
it's a balance, and it's a good balance. So I think you've got to get your kids involved.
What makes you thrive?
Just inspiring people, making sure I can tell a story that's real. I hated listening to nutritionalists when they were stick thin and they never had an eating problem and they just say, well, you have 3 balanced meals a day. That drove me crazy. I want to inspire people that was real, that's what's happening out there, that yes, I get starving, yes, I get hungry. What am I going to have for breakfast? What am I going to have for lunch? How can I do that with ease? How can I make it quickly? And to me, I really believe in my message.
Because you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there and I live it. I mean, I could easily just go off the rails and never eat good food again.
What you preach.
And I have to keep doing it. It's,
Right.
Anyone that's had a weight loss, anyone that wants to look good, has to make a conscious effort.
You know, people are going to be listening right now and saying, "I'm a big girl and I feel good." So who is he to tell me?
Absolutely. if you do, I never was that person. There are people, and my goodness, if I could have stayed like that and felt good, I wouldn't have changed a thing. But I think I got more energy when I lost weight. I think I felt better. I think I felt more motivated. For me, it worked for me. And if that's going to work for other people that have battled with it, if you haven't battled it, I guess you wouldn't even be watching because you're happy doing what you do. But if you're looking for inspiration, it's not a magic pill. It's not doing something crazy. It's not going down the surgery route. It's trying to actually enjoy food.
And yourself.
And yourself,
And yourself. What brings you peace?
The family. Yeah.
Happiness?
Yeah, family. And
Family.
Thailand.
And Thailand. What is it about Thailand that resonates with a boy from England?
I just felt it was a million miles away from everywhere. It was this exotic, crazy place. It was busy, but it was beautiful. It just is a place that I made some very good friends and I love to be in. It's certainly just been an inspiration. I love all of Asia. There's something about the hustle and there's something about that buzz in Asia I love. I mean, but to live, no, America's been the place I'd always want to live.
Do you call America home?
Yes.
Will it always be your home?
Yes.
It will?
Yeah.
And you go back to England?
Yeah, once a year.
Doesn't feel like home?
I mean, of course it feels like home because there's places you grew up in and you see your family and your aunts and your uncles. It feels like a second home.
Will you ever make Thailand your home?
No.
No.
No, I would.
That was a quick.
It was a quick one because it's not actually a very easy place to live. I mean, it's very busy. It's almost like a Hong Kong or a New York City. There's a burnout period. So if you can keep going back and enjoying it, I love the place. I'd love to have a holiday home there. But I don't think it's a place that I would actually be able to say, hey, I got to live here.
Home. Now, you grow up in the UK, you find yourself on all these televisions, you find yourself in the kitchen with Paula Deen. The reason why I'm bringing it up, because I watched The Real.
Today, I'm joined by my cookbook author friend, Daniel Green. And low-fat recipes aren't the only thing I got stirring in my kitchen.
Wait, you got some honey dripping from those sweet lips.
How was it? You know, Paula Deen is like, do we bring her name up? Absolutely. You know, we love her, we enjoy her, and we can't hold people hostage to their past.
Sure.
How was it, though, working with her in the kitchen?
I've worked with a lot of people, a lot of hosts, presenters in England, and they're few and far between when someone is the same on camera as off camera, and she's one of those, and that's a gem that's hard to find. If I can do anything in life, it's to be that person, same person on as off. It's horrible to see when people have a facade and when people aren't that person, and I've seen it too many times and it's ugly, but she's nothing like that. She's fun, she's warm, she wants to get to know you. I mean, just full character. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, made mistakes as well along the way.
We all have.
But that comes across as a kind person.
If you could make anything for Paula Deen for dinner tonight, what would it be?
Oh, healthy. So she got, so she doesn't have to add that butter. So I can show her that good food can be fabulous. I know the funny thing is she gets it too. I mean, she doesn't eat like that all the time, but she's got a passion for what she does, and that's made her the huge star that she is.
Good food can be fabulous.
Yeah, it can.
And on that, we're going to be right back. We're back with Daniel Green. I love when we take a break because we get to talk about so much more fun stuff and about life and cooking for the ambassador and royal family members of Thailand. But now you're back in America. We're here. You have a new book coming out. Has this book, The Paleo Diet, changed your life?
It really was my life, funnily enough. And then when the publisher came and said to me, hey, Daniel, what do you think of the Paleo diet? I wasn't sure. And I started to look at it. It's like, my goodness, this is almost exactly how I lost weight 20, 30 years ago. Naturally.
What, for people who have no idea what this book is, you know, people like I came in this one, the dinosaur book, the caveman book. What does the word paleo mean and how does it really affect our lives?
When I first heard about it, it sounded like another fad, crazy diet, no one's going to stick on it. And then I started reading it. Paleotic is how we evolved. So it's sometimes called the caveman diet, as you said. But it's about having natural food. It's not about processed food. There's quite a few restrictions on there, but you have the 80-20 rule, which means you can have 20% of anything. So if you have wine or beer, or you want to have that Chinese meal out, you want to have gluten and you want to have rice and you want to have carbs, do that maybe one meal a week, or do that a couple of times in the week, and it's done. So get that out of your system. It won't affect of what the benefit of paleo is. What paleo is it cuts out processed food. So we don't need processed food. It cuts out wheat. Wheat is a killer. I mean, we talk about if you.
Okay, I'm Italian.
they do gluten-free pastas. I mean, you can use. I've done.
But what if you're not like? What if you're not gluten allergic?
Right. So let's take celiacs away.
Okay.
If you've got a celiac, you can't have gluten. But gluten doesn't do a lot of us any good.
Okay. Have you put the farm to table into lifestyle into your house?
Well, you know, I have fruit, vegetables, protein. And that is exactly what it is. Okay. It's all about, and that's what the paleo is. There is no dairy on the paleo, but I have milk in my coffee. That's
what
kind
milk
of
do
using.
you have?
I use a fat-free. I mean, why have anything more? And it's not about flavor. And you know, so there's a few things I tweak on it, but there's no rice, there's no pastas, there's no carbs in heavy carbs, but you can have root vegetables. And it does make people feel better, not just a weight loss. You can have coconut milk. You can do Thai red curries. I mean, there's so much you can have. And that's what I wanted to show in this book, all the things you can have. And you can have avocados. You can make pizza out of almonds. You can do so much. But the only other side is it can be expensive because protein can be expensive. Almonds are expensive. Almond milk.
This is what's unfair.
That's what's
unfair.
That
the food we're supposed to eat, people can't afford.
But there's so many tricks. There's so many things you can.
Give us 3 tricks.
Eggs. I mean, eggs are full of protein.
What kind of eggs?
Well, any eggs, but I mean, if you can have organic eggs, but if you don't have the yolk in it. So maybe if you're doing 4 eggs, use 2 yolks and the rest all whites. That's where the protein is. That's what's going to fill you up. So we don't have to go down that level of spending too much money. I'd love nothing more than tiger prawns and lobster. But you know what? You can buy squid that's absolutely inexpensive. You can buy fish when it's on sale. You can get chicken that's inexpensive. Chicken livers are fantastic. You can do like a chicken liver pate. There's so many things you can do on a real budget.
We're going from people who eat McDonald's to now eating chicken liver pate.
Exactly.
How do we bridge that gap?
Well, not just to try and plug the book, but my recipes are simple and easy. Once you start, you get the confidence. Once you start that ball rolling, you get inspired and you think, you know, oh, I made eggs today. Okay, oh, I put some sun-dried tomatoes. Oh, they tasted fantastic. Or I put a hot sauce in. Then you start to realize, oh, you know what? I'm getting a bit into this, and now I'm going to roast a whole chicken. And now I roasted that chicken, it was fine. But now I cut up a lemon and I put a stock cube in there, and the flavor is now like Italy. And I put some thyme in it, and it's now wonderful. So you will get inspired. People will get inspired.
Just takes a book.
Yeah.
I opened up to coconut beetroot soup. I'm like, okay, that's for lunch today. But so now 10 books. This is your 10th one. I know they're like children, so do you have a favorite though?
You know, I love healthy eating for lower cholesterol because I think that touches so many people. I think that with that one, when you go to a doctor and they say you've got high cholesterol, all they say is what you can't have. I wanted to show what you can have. So I wanted to be inspirational, and that's been printed in 11 different languages, and I think it's touched quite a few people. I have a few signatures that I try and incorporate in every book. Like I love this miso salmon that I designed for KLM, and I love being able to create that kind of food where I can.
Asian influence is big with you.
Well,
Why is that?
Because you can add flavor. And if you are talking
without fat,
if you're talking about Italian and French food and you take away the fat, it's hard to create flavor. But it isn't in Asia because they don't use a lot of it, of the fat.
And the quality of life changes.
Yeah,
Your quality of life changes.
I mean, think of the Japanese cuisine. We go there because we want to be healthy. We know that.
Right,
we know we're not going to go to a Japanese restaurant and walk out there thinking, oh, I shouldn't have done it.
I'm so full.
So
unless you
let's try
go to
and
one
that
in
way.
America where it's all you can eat.
Tempura.
All you can eat Japanese buffet. So, but how do we tackle all you can eat to, I need to make this a lifestyle for change?
Atkins was very criticized, but he helped on that. Because if you go to all you can eat and you're only having the protein, you stop. You don't keep going. You get bored of it. So if you're doing that kind of eating, you've got to put the restrictions in place, and then you're able to follow it. So if you went to one of these South American, Brazilian food, and they come around with the carvery and they keep coming around, if you do not touch the salad bar and you're not touching the breads and you're not touching the rice, and you're just having the protein, you'll have plenty, but you will never feel like you're not full, but you won't feel like you're throwing all these things in your stomach.
And just destroying yourself.
I'm feeling bad.
It really is.
And it makes a big difference. So Atkins made a very good choice in saying that, because he stopped you from having that big steak and the potato, because the steak was going to fill you up.
It's the choice. So I hope from today people are going to make the choice to go on the path to improved health and wellness with you
so.
And your new book. I know so, because I think once you're in that flow, once we're here, when we know better, we do better, right? Yeah. What's next for you?
Well, as I said, I'd love to approach and attack eating well on a budget. That is so passionate to me. I'd love to be able to get involved and show people who really have a constraint on what money they can spend on food and get some enjoyment from it and not have crap. And I think there's just too much out there. I think there's a lack of education, and there can be good food created that way. That to me would be my real passion. That's what I'd love to do. I love sharing all my hours.
Do you think that's a heart virtue? You know what heart virtue is, when you get chills and all of a sudden you're like, this is what I was born to do.
I think there was something that makes sense in my life that I need to follow, and that definitely is it. I love being a part of the Shop HQ family, you know, having that audience and connecting, and having the kind of time that most people don't get in front of the camera, and being able to do that. But if I did have a real passion, it would be to try and help people out of a situation with food.
Because you've been there.
Yep.
That's the way to do it, because you've been there. Someone's watching right now and they're saying, okay, I've never seen Shop HQ, I've never picked up one of Daniel's books, but he's inspiring me to continue. What advice do you give them to not give up?
Well, small changes. See how that works for you. Just try something, and if you start to see results, you will just go for it full force, because you'll be motivated. Just take away. I say no deep fried, no cream, no cheese, and if you do that, a little oil, if you just start with those easy basics, you really will see huge differences, and you'll suddenly realize, actually, that wasn't that hard.
It's not. Life is easy, we make it hard, right?
Yep.
And the book is easy.
I hope so.
The book is easy.
I hope so.
Well, it's the Paleo Diet. Will put you on the path to improved health and well-being. Daniel James Green, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We had fun, and I hope people join that path.
I hope so.
I think they will. Thank you.